Hi, I'm Penny and welcome to The Fix, bringing you all the latest information on the SU Elections 2015.
Hi everyone, I'm James Bramley. I'm running for Sports Officer and you're watching NSTV.
Hi, I'm Akida Malik and I'm running for Equal Opportunities and Welfare and you're watching NSTV.
Hi, I'm Emma. I'm running for Women's Officer and you're watching NSTV.
One of your policies is to get more people involved in sport. That's a policy that we hear quite a lot, even every year and among all the sports officers. What do you think is going to make you be able to actually implement that, and who specifically are you trying to, involve?
So I'd say that I've been involved in getting students involved in sport ever since day one. I was JCL Sports Ex and New to Sports Rep, which is aimed at getting students who don't necessarily play sport all the time involved in sport. So I'd say I've got the experience of doing that for my first year. I also run a sports programme at the university which is aimed at students getting involved in sport from a sort of participation level, so I've got a lot of experience in that. The way I do it is I've got a sports app. Not many people have got on the SU website realistically, but everyone's on phones on apps on the phone all the time, so one way to look at it is if you get an app, then they can see all the sports all the time, all the information for all the sports, and they can get involved in it a lot more. Who I'm targeting, obviously my sports campaign I've got to target everyone involved, everyone at the university, all 34,000 students. With this question, it's people that aren't involved in sport that probably do want to get involved in sport. So removing all barriers for students that do want to get involved in sport but feel that they can't.
And you also mentioned satellite campuses elsewhere in your policies. You think that they should be more, involved. How exactly do you mean by that?
I know there's a few sporting involvements where campuses might come over to sit in Bonington, but there isn't enough in terms of other activities. So. The faith societies are almost a little bit separate as well. So there's the Christian Union at Sutton Bonington, and then there's the Islamic Society, which is newly formed, which I helped with, also at Sutton Bonington. But we're not very included. I mean, the societies don't have an inclusion of the other campuses as much. Everything is based here, and I think everyone knows that. But you can't help which campus you're at. It depends on your course, doesn't it?
So you're the current Women's Officer. Are there any policies that you've got at the moment that you think are particularly successful and you want to build upon?
Yeah, we're very proud of the Body Confidence Week, which we did in November, where we sort of highlighted positive body ideas, and that's something I definitely want to continue next year if I'm re-elected. And we're also now trying to do a big campaign on loud culture, but that's obviously a very difficult thing to do, so that won't be achieved this year. So if re-elected, I'll continue doing that next year and then bring new campaigns to the table as well.
And to you, what would the perfect SU look like?
Look like in terms of
what would it be like? Yeah.
What would it be like? It would be accessible for students. It would be sort of open for all students to go and speak to people, approachable, but also efficient in terms of what it does. So it would make changes that students want, and it would do that efficiently.
A perfect SU would be representative of the students. So we have a lot of international students, students of ethnic minority, different ages, and I think the SU should be representative of that as well. And also, I keep coming back to the campuses thing, but I think the main campus, students from here have an advantage as well, because it shouldn't be a popularity test, but it seems like it is becoming a popularity test. But again, there should be a representative from maybe each campus.
Tell me what your perfect SU would look like.
My perfect SU is built up by a varied amount of people with different opinions, but that cooperate and don't only care about their own policies, but what everyone else is doing as well, because you need to have an officer team that just care about each other and cooperate, and have staff help as well.
Hi, I'm Aaron Watts. I'm running for Sports Officer and you're watching NSTV.
Hi, I'm Robert Murdoch. I'm running for Education Officer and you're watching NSTV.
I'm Frank Oxley. I'm running for the Environment and Social Justice position in the SU elections, and you're watching NSTV.
So Aaron, one of your policies is to get people more involved with sport, particularly postgrads and beginners, you said. So how do you plan on doing that?
I'm hoping to get a postgraduate IMS officer in to make it easier for postgrads. I know that a lot of postgraduate students struggle to get IMS teams in because the deadline for IMS leagues is quite soon after term starts, and they don't have enough time to get teams in. So some sort of flexibility with separate postgraduate leagues would be great. In terms of beginners, I'm hoping to help sports clubs to like promote themselves to beginners and then develop student coaches through those clubs to like help those beginners improve, and then potentially over 3 years they could even join the teams later on if they need to.
Okay, and have you been working with the current education officer to, you know, consolidate any of the policies that he's been working on that you think are pretty good?
I shadowed him on a few of his meetings and one thing another, so I was sat around in the office while he was working and learned basically how things are currently difficult for him. I was in a meeting with all of the higher faculty to discuss the SET and SEM feedback and learning how it can be a problem, and really how to drive that student voice home was a big part of my campaign so far.
So one of your policies is to reduce food waste, right?
Uh-huh.
And how do you plan on doing that?
Well, I think at the moment the amount of food waste in campus is absolutely ridiculous. I've seen firsthand, as the Vice President of Hugh Stewart Hall, how much food is going into landfill, in bin bags and stuff like that. So I think the university really needs to tackle this. One of the ways I've proposed is to have an organic compost scheme university-wide that would help, improve sustainability, and that kind of the compost could go into supporting plants as nutrients, simple things that you learn in GCSE biology, something we could do there, and also tackling food waste by giving excess food to the hungry of Nottingham, those people out on the streets, those people who need support from charities. I think it's really important that we are able to give them help as a university.
What would your perfect SU look like?
That's a really difficult question. I guess something that actually represents what the students want. Like, we're here to represent the students, and the Students' Union is here to figure out what the students want and then implement it. So maybe more implementation. I think they do a really good job of listening to the students, but then we actually need to turn it into action. That'd be great.
Can you tell me, what would the perfect SU look like to you?
It would include all the rest of the campuses for the very first thing I would want to do. I was over at Derby yesterday, and the main discussion from them was how they're excluded. I feel the same as a Sutton Bonington student. Sutton Bonington's slowly been getting better, but there's also nothing on Jubilee for students.
Have you been speaking to the current environmental officer about, what they've been doing and how you're going to, further their work or improve on it?
Emily Holmes has been a fantastic environment social justice rep. We've just had Green Week, which I think has been a really good success. I've also been speaking to the Environment and Social Justice Committee, which is actually going through some form of reform to make it wider, stronger, more inclusive. And I've been speaking to social justice societies, environmental societies, on how to really include them in the Students' Union, because most of the social justice societies and environment societies feel almost they're left apart. They're left to their own devices. They can run their own campaigns. So I've been speaking to Emily about how to strengthen the network, include them more, and help social justice societies actually work together, without putting all the burden on the societies as such. So I have had discussions with her.